Please subscribe my channel. Start a great victory of Australia. Australia put World Cup crusade on target after critical Sri Lankan batting breakdown. The bowlers set up Australia's success. Zampa, Cummins and Stark causing all the harm after Sri Lanka had dashed away to 125 for no misfortune. Australia 215 for 5, Inglis 58, Bog 52, Labuschagne 40, Maxwell 31, Stoinis 20. Madushanka 3-38 beat Sri Lanka 209, Pereira 78, Nisanka 61, Zampa 4-47, Cummins 2-32, Stark 2-43 by 5 wickets. Australia pursued down Sri Lanka's shoddy 209 no sweat, lopping to a 5-wicket win-in. Luck now to restore their hailing World Cup crusade. The outcome overlooks Sri Lanka second last with 3 misfortunes from 3. And basically requiring just wins from here on to have a possibility of coming to the semi-finals. Don't skip this video. Watch till the end. For Australia, it was a triumph set up by an industrious bowling exertion and afterward covered off by a pursuit exemplified by its consistent focus. Having won the throw and chose for bat first on a contribute that stand Sri Lanka. Captain Kuzal Mendes had considered a 2-8-0-3-0-0 track. Sri Lanka got off to the ideal beginning with the initial pair piling up 125 runs. Be that as it may, a breakdown of surprising extent saw them lose 10 wickets for only 84 runs, the most exceedingly terrible such breakdown in World Cups beginning around 2011, and Sri Lanka's most obviously awful breakdown since their debut World Cup game, as they were packaged for 209. Adam Zampa was the pick of the bowlers with figures of 4 for 47, while Pat Cummins and Mitchell Starc snatched 2 each. However, extraordinary notice ought to go to David Warner for 2 remarkable gets-in, the profound to excuse Pathum Nisanka and Mendes. Wickets which in numerous ways catalyzed Sri Lanka's defeat. It was likewise a handling exertion that was a much-needed development for Australia after their initial losses to India and South Africa had been set apart by some strangely unfortunate getting. With regards to their aggregate, Sri Lanka, and especially Dilshan Madushanka, began incredibly. Madushanka's initial 12 conveyances went for 0 runs and 2 wickets, including a 2-full wicket lady, while those 2 wickets would see the hazardous Warner and Stephen Smith gave the boot. Mitchell Bog at the opposite end offered Sri Lanka no rest. Don't skip this video. Watch till the end. Swamp lobbed the main bundle of the pursuit, a foolish conveyance on off from Lahiru Kumara back over mid-off, and he didn't think back. Mahesh Theekshana brought into the assault as soon as the 3rd over after Kumara had been hacked for 15 in his opening over was taken for a couple of stunning limits, and Bog rehashed the accomplishment in Kumara's next finished. The most exceedingly awful, however, was saved for Dunith Wellalage, who was lashed for 3 of limits in his initial salvo. It took a fine Chamika Karunaratne toss from the profound to excuse Swamp as he searched briefly, yet by then 33% of the pursuit had been scratched off, and the game was well close by. Josh Inglis and Marnus Labuschagne then put the outcome certain with a stand of 77 of 86. However, both fell before the end goal. Inglis indented 50 years. The final details were added by Glenn Maxwell and Marcus Stoinis, who pulled out all the stops and superpower an all-around agreeable pursue and frolic home eventually. In any case, on a surface that Cummins had said he would have jumped at the chance to have batted first on, this was a game dominated with the ball. Sri Lanka's organizations recount the whole story. A significant opening stand of 125, trailed by a brief however productive 32, and afterward, indeed, nothing. For sure, past those 2 top request endeavors, just 2 others passed 2 full digits, and that excessively by the barest of edges. Contrast that to Australia, who set up stands of 24, 0, 57, 77, 34, and a solid 23 en route to triumph. The breakdown is a stressing topic for Sri Lanka, who have now discarded a promising situation for the subsequent game, running the 4th time in 5 games on the off chance that you count the warm-up games. This game likewise featured what could occur assuming that Mendes neglects to fire. Notwithstanding the initial sets of Nisanka and Kuzal Pereira putting on 125 L, Sri Lanka's center request neglected to exploit the stage, going from 157 for 1 to 209 hard and fast. Nisanka had got goes against Pakistan, however Pereira was coming into this game, nursing an as of late recuperated shoulder strain, and not much ongoing structure behind him. Yet, a dull beginning from the Australia seamers implied that despite the fact that the Lankan openers weren't precisely capable in pivoting the strike, there were sufficient limit balls on proposition to relieve any strain being fabricated. Together, the pair put on Sri Lanka's best opening stand of the competition, which would have had them looking at a complete more than 300, yet nobody might have anticipated the degree of the breakdown that followed. While the beginning of Sri Lanka's slide will ostensibly be ascribed to Cummins for getting the two openers in the range 2 or 3 overs, a huge piece of the credit ought to go to Warner, who's getting given the opening. Either side of Cummins nipping one back and castling Pereira, Warner clutched 2 high trouble chances in the profound. The first was to dispose of Nisanka, who confused a guide apparently into the well-being of the empty mid-wicket district, just to see the watching Warner run opposite profound square leg and clutch it on the slide. Please subscribe my channel and support my channel with your love.